to class, I don't encourage them to bring their own pencils, because what happens with the pencils is they put it down and then they walk away and then they've forgotten where it went and automatically someone else supposedly took it, but then they realize later, no, they just laid it down someplace. So to avoid all of that, we have pencils, we have crayons, we have glue sticks, we have scissors. We share them and everybody uses them, and then that way we don't spend time having to look for lost items. But I would appreciate it at home if they have pencils, crayons, and some paper. If you need any of those supplies, let me know and I can help you out with that as well. So, expectations for first grade. The kids are going to be expected to work in collaborative groups. They do a lot of group learning. We found that when kids have to explain things to each other, they learn it quicker. It's a higher level of learning when you're explaining to somebody else, so group work is a really good way to do that. Also, I'm expecting them to work independently, to figure things out on their own and try to problem solve. Really important, if they need help, they seek it. We talk about that all the time, that if there's something that you're struggling with, I really need you to come talk to me about it. I always expect their best work. I tell them it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to look like mine, but it does have to be their best work. Homework turn in weekly. I want to do a quick conversation about homework. Homework is just supposed to be a review. If your child's struggling with something, if you could just write me a note and say, you know, this took a lot longer than I would have thought. Can you please help me out? That helps me so I know that they need extra work with me. Homework is not supposed to be crying-inducing for parents or kids. It's just supposed to be a review. So if you're finding any struggling, please let me know. On the likewise, if you see something that they're going through really quickly, you know, you can sign in and say, Mrs. Banner, they've got this. And you can have them do something else. I really do encourage the reading every night, and if you can, bump in a little bit more writing. I don't have a lot of writing at night because I know some kids struggle with the writing, but if you could encourage that, maybe if they finish something else really quickly, maybe do a little bit of writing. But the reason I give you the packet on Monday is because I know we all have busy lives with a lot of things going on. So that's why I give it to you Monday and give you through the weekend to finish it up, because that gives you 7 days to complete about 4 to 5 days worth of homework. Is that working out well for everybody? The Monday to Monday?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, so we're going to be expecting that the kids read a DRA 14 or higher, which means 14 is at the end of the year. Right now, the kids are reading about what's expected is a 3. So in first grade, we've got the most levels that we have to read of any group, of any grade level. But developmentally, that's where the kids are at. Last year, they were learning letters and sounds. This year, they're going to bump it up and they're going to take it to the next level, and they will make that growth, but we need to expose them to reading every day. I'm expecting that they follow directions from all staff. We haven't had any issues with that. We have fun in learning, and then we celebrate Wildcat Pride. That's the passion, responsibility, integrity, determination, and excellence. Oh, I fixed this earlier. Sorry, that was my schedule. It got a little messed up. Let me see. Hi. Sorry, this is what happens with technology. The kids have learned to be really patient.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, so this is kind of an idea of what our schedule looks like. In the morning, we do a math. Right now, we're working on math activities, but later on, we will be doing language activities in the morning. Our math lessons contain one of two things. We either use New York Engage or Envision. We do vocabulary word study, and then the Reader's Workshop contains guided reading, writer's worksheet, and we've been doing the daily 5. So over here you can see there's a chart, and it talks about the 5 things the kids do while I'm meeting with groups. They're either reading to themselves, working on writing, they're either working on word work, listening to reading, or reading to somebody else. Those are the things that all kids should be exposed to every day, so that's what they're working on. The computer, that's where they do listening to reading. We either go through Starfall, or I found Highlights.com has a lot of really good stories for the kids to listen to, and it highlights the words as it goes across, so that might be something you'll want to try at home. For Writer's Workshop, we're using Lucy Calkins, and then for science, we're using the FOSS kit. Here's an example of an activity that we would be doing on the 100 chart. do in the morning warm-up is I'm trying to get them to understand how numbers work on the hundreds chart, which means -1, +1, +10, -10. So, Kyle, can you help me out with this? So what I do in the morning is I'll come up and I'll write a number.
Oh, I want to try that.
On the board, and the kids take turns filling out the chart. They need to know what number comes next, which number goes below, which number goes above.
I know one. I know one. I know one. I know one.
You know, come on.
I know one.
And obviously it's interactive. They like using it. They can use it really, really well. We're gonna have 10. Perfect. Thank you. You want to go? Okay. So obviously math is fun. It's interactive. It's something that they can do in small groups. Thank you. Thank you. Another thing that we work on. Here's just another sample. It's the same thing. It's the hundreds chart. They like this because I can buy different problems, so they're not working on them while we're waiting. So they can work on this one, and then they know they're wizards at all of this. They know how to do all of this kind of stuff. So that's just another sample of how I use the Promethea board with math. We have. All right. So then
You're not writing? No. Me too.
I had a.
One third center.
Here's a sample of word study. We're studying the short I sounds, so they can take letters over and make new words. And make sure that it makes a word. Some of them don't make words, so they need to understand is that a word or is that not a word. And then they do that independently at their word study group. There we go. Okay, so homework. Sorry, did it again. Okay, so homework once again is due every Monday. It's just a review of the week's work, and the reading part is really the most important part. It's always on the back bookshelf, so if your student says they don't have it, there's always extra copies back there. I make sure there's always copies, along with our agenda sheet. Yes? Yeah.
I have some books at home, but I don't have enough. And I came to the library to try to get books for him on loan, but they said that he couldn't do it now. So they said it's not set up yet. They have to send out
Okay. We're permission slips at home today, but he doesn't have to wait and use that library. He can use mine anytime.
They can borrow books from you
Yes.
to take home?
Yes, I have absolutely no problem with that. Because reading every night is, that's a lot of books. They can read the same books. In fact, it's good for them to read the same books because they're also working on fluency. You know, the first time they read it, they read each word separately, and we want them to get in the practice of, right now we're reading together. We've been doing a lot of study with Frog and Toad. Takes me back. So we've been doing a lot of Frog and Toad, and they've been doing a really good job of using voice and making sure that they're reading with fluency. So it's okay for them to read the same book for a couple nights. You wouldn't want to do it all 5 because they'd probably get bored, but like 3 nights, that would be fine, and have them work on the fluency. Like making sure it sounds more like we speak. And I try to let them know, when we speak, we connect our words. When you read, sometimes you're making each word in isolation. And we've really been studying going to a period and stopping and pausing and then reading on and trying to make it continue. So, but my books, anytime, they can definitely use my book. And then guided reading. I've been doing guided reading. I've been sending some of those books home. So they should be getting the books home sent maybe once or twice a week. Thank you for that. Are there any other questions about homework? Any other questions at all? Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming in. That's it of my presentation. If you want to have your student walk you around and kind of show you the room, that's fine. If you have any questions, that's fine. But I really want to thank you so much for coming tonight. And I appreciate you helping me out.
Puti ka isa.